Imagine a place where the streets are made of water and the buildings seem to rise directly from the sea like a beautiful dream. This is Venice, Italy. Often called the Queen of the Adriatic or the Floating City, it is a destination unlike any other on the entire planet. Built on a cluster of over 100 small islands, Venice is connected by more than 400 bridges and thousands of years of incredible history. In this journey, we are going to explore the magic of the Venetian lagoon. We will look beyond the usual tourist paths to find the soul of this ancient republic. From the grand palaces that line the canals to the secret corners where local life still thrives, Venice is a masterpiece of engineering and art. The year is 2026, and Venice remains a timeless wonder. It is a city where cars do not exist, and the only way to get around is by foot or by boat. The air is filled with the sound of water lapping against stone and the distant calls of gondoliers navigating the narrow waterways. Often described as the finest drawing room in all of Europe, this expansive square is the heart and soul of the city. It is the only space in Venice large enough to be called a piazza, while all other squares are simply known as fields. Standing here, you are surrounded by some of the most famous architecture in the world. The square is dominated by the massive bell tower, which stands nearly 323 feet tall. If you look up, you will see the golden weather vane in the shape of the Archangel Gabriel. For centuries, this space has been the center of Venetian social, religious, and political life. It is where the Great Carnival takes place and where visitors from every corner of the globe gather to soak in the atmosphere. As you walk across the ancient paving stones, you will notice the elegant arcades of the government buildings that frame the square. These buildings once housed the highest officers of the Venetian Republic. Today, they are home to historic cafes like Florian, which has been serving coffee since the year 1720. Standing at the eastern end of the square is a cathedral so golden and bright that it has been nicknamed the Church of Gold. This is a masterpiece of Italo-Byzantine architecture designed to showcase the immense wealth and power of the Venetian Republic. Its structure features 5 massive domes and a facade decorated with diverse marble and sculptures brought back from distant lands. As you look at the exterior, your eyes are immediately drawn to the shimmering gold mosaics that arch over the doorways. These artworks tell the story of how the relics of Saint Mark were brought to the city. High above the main portal, you can see the 4 bronze horses. These statues are replicas of the ancient originals that were taken from Constantinople during the Fourth Crusade in the year 1204. Stepping inside is like walking into another world. The interior is covered in more than 85,000 square feet of gold mosaics. These tiny glass tiles are angled specifically to catch and reflect the light, creating a glowing atmosphere that feels divine. Beneath your feet, the floor is a complex carpet of marble and stone, laid out in geometric patterns nearly 1,000 years ago. Next to the Golden Basilica stands the grandest symbol of Venetian political power. This pink and white marble palace was once the residence of the Doge, the elected leader of the Venetian Republic. For nearly 1,000 years, this building served as the seat of government, the courthouse, and even the prison. Its architecture is a stunning example of Venetian Gothic style, where the heavy upper floors appear to float gracefully on top of delicate, airy arches. As you enter the central courtyard, you are met with the Giant's Staircase. At the top of these steps, two massive statues of Mars and Neptune represent the power of Venice over both land and sea. This was the ceremonial stage where every new Doge was crowned. Walking up the golden staircase inside, you will find yourself in rooms decorated with some of the most impressive art in the world. The highlight of the interior is the Hall of the Great Council. This is one of the largest rooms in Europe, and it is completely free of supporting columns. On the main wall, you can see Tintoretto's masterpiece, titled Paradise. It is one of the largest oil paintings on canvas ever created, stretching over 70 feet wide. This room was where the Venetian noblemen gathered to vote on the laws that governed their vast maritime empire. This is the main artery of the city, a sweeping S-shaped waterway that flows through the heart of Venice. While other cities have grand boulevards and highways, Venice has this majestic aquatic thoroughfare. Stretching for nearly 2.5 miles, the Grand Canal is the busiest and most beautiful water street in the world. It serves as the primary route for everything from public water buses to delivery barges and elegant private boats. Lining the banks of the canal are more than 170 buildings, most of which date back to the 13th and 18th centuries. These are the famous palaces of the Venetian noble families, built to show off their success and influence. Because the houses were built to be seen from the water, their facades are decorated with intricate carvings, colorful marbles, and pointed arches that reflect beautifully in the shifting tides. Traveling down the canal is like taking a journey through a living museum of architecture. You will see styles ranging from Byzantine to Gothic and Baroque. Along the way, you pass under 4 major bridges that connect the two sides of the city. The activity here is constant and mesmerizing. You might see a wedding party on a decorated boat, a funeral procession, or a simple grocery delivery, all happening on the water. Arching high over the narrowest point of the Grand Canal is the oldest and most iconic bridge in the city. For centuries, this was the only way to cross the main waterway on foot, making it the vital link between the two halves of Venice. Built in the late 1500s, it replaced a series of wooden bridges that had either burned down or collapsed under the weight of crowds. The design was considered so daring at the time that some architects predicted it would fall, but it has stood strong for over 400 years. It is supported by 12,000 wooden piles driven deep into the lagoon mud. The bridge is famous for its unique shape, featuring a single, bold stone arch that allows large boats to pass underneath with ease. Unlike most bridges, this one is a bustling marketplace. It features 3 sets of stairs and 2 rows of small shops built right into the structure. Here, you can find everything from fine jewelry and Murano glass to local souvenirs. Because it sits at the heart of the historic trade district, the area around the bridge has been the center of Venetian commerce since the year 1097. Floating high above the narrow canal known as the Palace Canal, this small but beautiful bridge is one of the most photographed spots in the world. It is made of fine white limestone and features delicate windows covered with stone lattices. Unlike the other bridges in the city that were built for the public to cross, this bridge was designed for a much more somber purpose. Built in the year 1600, this enclosed passage connects the interrogation rooms inside the Doge's palace directly to the new prison building. It was a one-way path for many who were sentenced by the Venetian courts. The bridge earned its poetic name in the 19th century based on the legend that prisoners would catch their very last glimpse of the outside world through the small window openings. Looking out at the beautiful lagoon and the island of San Giorgio, they would let out a heavy sigh at the thought of their lost freedom. Despite its dark history, the bridge has become a symbol of romance in modern times. A popular local legend says that if a couple kisses on a gondola at sunset while passing under the bridge, they will be granted eternal love and happiness. This contrast between its historical use and its current reputation makes it a fascinating part of the city's story. Deep in the northern part of the Venetian lagoon lies a small island that looks like it has been pulled straight from a coloring book. This is Burano, famous across the world for its rows of houses painted in every bright color imaginable. From neon pinks and deep purples to vibrant yellows and blues, the island is a dazzling explosion of color that contrasts beautifully with the green water of its narrow canals. Local legend says that the houses were painted in these bright shades so that returning fishermen could find their way home through the thick fog that often settles over the lagoon. Today, the colors are strictly regulated by the local government. If a resident wants to paint their home, they must send a request, and the officials will tell them exactly which colors are permitted for that specific lot. But Burano is famous for more than just its colorful walls. It is the historic home of some of the finest lace-making on the planet. This tradition dates back to the late 1500s, when the women of the island began creating incredibly intricate designs using only a needle and thread. At one time, this lace was so highly valued that it was worn by royalty across all of Europe. You can still find local artisans practicing this patient craft today, often sitting together in the doorways of their bright homes. While the center of Venice is filled with energy and crowds, there is an island in the northern lagoon where time seems to have stopped completely. This is Torcello, a quiet and sparsely populated island that is often called the parent of Venice. Long before the grand palaces were built around the Rialto, Torcello was the most powerful and populated settlement in the entire lagoon. In its prime, over 10,000 people lived here, but today, that number has dwindled to fewer than 20 residents. Walking down the main path alongside the canal, you will feel a sense of ancient peace. One of the first things you will encounter is the Devil's Bridge. This simple stone crossing is famous because it has no railings, preserving the original style of old Venetian bridges. Local legends tell of a pact made here between a young girl and the devil, and it is said that a mysterious black cat appears on the bridge every Christmas Eve. At the heart of the island sits the magnificent Cathedral of Santa Maria Assunta, founded in the year 639. This is the oldest building in the entire lagoon. Inside, the walls are covered in breathtaking Byzantine mosaics that are even older than those in St. Mark's Basilica. Gazing across the water from St. Mark's Square, you will see a stunning white marble church that seems to float on its own private island. This is San Giorgio Maggiore, one of the most photographed and iconic landmarks in the Venetian lagoon. While most of Venice is built of warm bricks and colorful plaster, this church shines with a brilliant white stone that reflects the changing light of the sea and sky throughout the day. Designed by the legendary architect Andrea Palladio in the middle of the 16th century, the church is a masterpiece of Renaissance design. The facade is a clever combination of two classical temple fronts, creating a sense of balance and harmony that feels both powerful and elegant. For centuries, the island was home to a Benedictine monastery, serving as a peaceful retreat away from the busy streets of the main city. When you step inside, the interior is flooded with natural light, highlighting the crisp white walls and soaring columns. Unlike many other churches in the city that are filled with dark shadows, San Giorgio feels open and airy. On either side of the main altar, you can find two massive paintings by the great artist Tintoretto. These works, titled The Last Supper and The Fall of Manna, were among the last things he ever painted before his death in 1594. Standing proudly at the point where the Grand Canal meets the Venetian lagoon is one of the most recognizable sights in the city. This is the Church of Santa Maria della Salute, a massive octagonal masterpiece built out of white stone. Its giant white domes and swirling stone decorations, known as scrolls, create a silhouette that has inspired artists and painters for hundreds of years. The story behind this church is as dramatic as its architecture. In the year 1630, a devastating plague swept through Venice, taking the lives of nearly 1/3 of the population. In a desperate plea for help, the Venetian Senate promised to build a magnificent church dedicated to Mary, the protector of health, if the city was saved. When the plague finally ended, they stayed true to their word and began construction on this grand monument. Building such a massive structure on the soft mud of the lagoon was a miracle of engineering. To support the weight of the heavy stone and the enormous domes, workers had to drive over 1 million wooden piles deep into the ground. It took more than 50 years to complete, finally opening in the year 1681. Every year on the 21st of November, the city still celebrates the Feast of the Salute. A temporary bridge is built across the Grand Canal so that thousands of people can walk to the church to give thanks. Along the banks of the Grand Canal sits one of the most elegant and refined palaces in the entire city. Its official name is the Palazzo Santa Sofia, but everyone knows it as the Ca d'Oro, which translates to the House of Gold. In the 15th century, parts of its intricate facade were covered in gold leaf and decorated with ultramarine blue and bright red vermilion. While the gold has long since faded, the building remains a stunning example of Venetian Gothic architecture. Built between the years 1421 and 1437, the palace was commissioned by a wealthy nobleman who wanted to create a residence that reflected his status. The design is famous for its delicate stone tracery and open galleries that look like frozen lace made of white marble. The ground floor features a beautiful arcade that allows boats to pull directly into the house from the canal, while the upper floors are filled with light and views of the water. Inside, the palace is no longer a private home, but a public art museum. It houses the Franchetti collection, which was donated to the city in the early 20th century. As you walk through the rooms, you can see incredible masterpieces, including a famous painting of Saint Sebastian by the artist Mantegna. One of the highlights is the stunning mosaic floor in the courtyard, which the last owner spent years restoring by hand using ancient techniques. While many visitors stay close to the main square, those who wander further north will find themselves in the largest and most authentic neighborhood in the city. This is Cannaregio. It is a place where you can still see laundry hanging across narrow alleys and hear the voices of locals greeting each other at the morning markets. This district offers a glimpse into the real daily life of Venice, away from the heavy crowds of the main tourist center. Cannaregio is home to the world's very first ghetto, established in the year 1516. The word itself actually originated here. Because the Jewish community was confined to this small area for centuries, they could not build outward, so they built upward. This resulted in some of the tallest buildings in Venice, reaching 6 or 7 stories high. Today, the area remains a peaceful and historic heart of the district, featuring ancient synagogues and a quiet square that feels a world away from the rest of the city. As you walk through the neighborhood, you will find the wide and sun-drenched canal known as the Fondamenta della Misericordia. This long walkway is lined with small, independent restaurants and traditional wine bars called Baccari. It is the perfect place to try cicchetti, which are small Venetian snacks, while sitting by the water as the sun goes down. Tucked away just a short walk from the busy waterfront near St. Mark's Square is a place that holds one of the most mysterious and hauntingly beautiful sights in Venice. The Church of San Zaccaria is a stunning blend of Gothic and Renaissance styles. But its most famous secret lies beneath the surface. This church was once part of an incredibly powerful monastery, and it served as the burial place for many of the city's early leaders, known as doges. While the main floor of the church is filled with incredible art, including a famous altarpiece by Giovanni Bellini from the year 1505, most people come here to descend into the ancient crypt. Built between the 10th and 11th centuries, this subterranean chamber is a forest of small stone columns and vaulted ceilings. However, unlike most crypts, this one is permanently partially filled with water from the surrounding canals. Because the floor of the crypt sits below the average sea level, the lagoon water seeps in, creating a mirror-like pool that covers the ground. The sight is absolutely mesmerizing. The still, clear water reflects the ancient arches and columns, making them appear twice as long and giving the entire space a surreal, dreamlike quality. At the very tip of the Dorsoduro district, where the Grand Canal and the Giudecca Canal meet to join the sea, stands one of the most striking landmarks in Venice. This triangular building is the historic Punta della Dogana, the city's ancient customs house. For centuries, this was where merchant ships would stop to pay duties before delivering their goods to the heart of the Republic. Today, it has been transformed into a world-class center for contemporary art. The building is topped by a famous 17th century statue known as the Fortune. It features 2 bronze figures holding a large golden globe, upon which stands a statue of Fortune that rotates with the wind. This serves as a constant reminder of the unpredictable nature of luck and trade that once defined the life of every Venetian merchant. In the year 2009, the building underwent a massive renovation by the renowned Japanese architect Tadao Ando. He stripped away centuries of partitions to reveal the original brick walls and massive wooden ceiling beams, creating a stunning contrast between the ancient soul of the building and the modern art it now houses. The interior is a series of vast, minimalist halls where the shifting light from the surrounding water enters through restored windows, illuminating the masterpieces on display.